Hi guys, so you're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Banke. You can call me the real Banke, you can call me Banke, you can call me whichever one you want. So you're welcome back. So today we're going to be talking about anxiety in your 20s. Okay, so if you're in your 20s and you are still trying to figure out your life, then this video is for you. We are together, so we are going to figure everything out together. So on days that your anxiety is over the roof, that you just woke up, or maybe intentionally or unintentionally something has triggered your anxiety, what do you do? All right, so probably maybe your best friend, maybe a family member called you and then asked you, okay, let's assume that you are probably finishing university, or maybe you're rounding up your NYSC, and then someone just calls you, maybe a friend that means well, my friend who are foul, big girl, this one, that one, after one each other, and I said, okay, so what next? Like, what do you want to do now? What's your next line of action? What do you want to do? Or maybe, okay, school has finished, you just did your signing out, everybody happy and everything. So what do you want to do now? What's the next step? And then this question just triggered your anxiety in a way, because you feel, okay, you don't really have any written plan, and then you feel like, okay, maybe everybody already has their life figured out and you are the only one that is left. Okay, so I am here to remind you that there is nothing like that. Nobody had their life figured out by the time they started it. Everybody is learning as they are going. So I'm going to be sharing some tips on what to do on days like this, that your anxiety is pushing you hard and you just feel like everything is overwhelming you. So I'm going to be sharing a few tips. The number one is, on days like this, you pray. Okay, if you actually believe in God, then you will know that prayer actually works. Okay, this is the number one go-to for me, because in the past there has been different instances where I have been in some situations where the only one you can actually turn to is God, and it worked and it came through for me. I've prayed and it worked. So the truth is, each time you pray about things like this, each time you're anxious and then you resort to prayer, you get a peace, get an inner peace that actually lets you know that everything is going to be all right. Number two, the next thing I do is I do self-validation. I remind myself of things that I've actually been through, that I've actually sorted in the past. I remind myself of, okay, maybe situations that I've actually thought that I couldn't get through, but I actually walked through. I remind myself of different things that I've done before that I actually didn't think that I could do it. So I remind myself of how awesome I am. I remind myself of different instances. I remind myself of things that I did that people were, give me a thumbs up. And I just do that. Remind yourself of days that you did great things. Remind yourself of instances where you've done things that you were proud of. Always tell yourself the good parts about yourself when your other parts is trying to remind you of who you should be. So the third thing is, you make mental notes of the things you actually want. You know, they say that empty shop is devil's workshop, or however they put it, that when something is empty, things that shouldn't occupy it will occupy it. So you sit down, actually make a mental note of what you actually think you want, which can be maybe based on your personality, or based on what you enjoy doing, or based on what you think you want your life to look like maybe in the next 5 years. So use those kind of things to actually sit and analyze what you think you want for yourself. So you can sit for like maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour in a day, and then just imagine what you think you want for yourself, so that you don't get pushed and tossed around by looking at other people's life, or by looking at what other people are doing with their own life. So if you do that, you tend to get clarity. Okay, you tend to get clarity, you tend to see things clearer, because by the time you sit and then you think about what you want for yourself, that means even if you're seeing somebody that is doing something else and they are getting results, you don't get pushed to feel like, okay, maybe you should actually can do that too. No, but because you know what you want for yourself, so you make mental notes, you do self-analyzation, you have conversation within yourself to remind yourself of what you want and where you are going. So the next point I'm going to be talking about is you should take a break and do something else. Okay, so after you've prayed, after you've done your self validation, after you've done your mental notes to take note of what you want, the next thing you can do is take a break and do something else. You can actually take that break to make breakfast, to make lunch or dinner, depending on the time of the day that this is happening. And then you can decide to afterwards maybe arrange your space, maybe clean your room or clean your house or mop the house, depending on if that works for you. There are some people that actually see cleaning as a chore and they never see it as a go-to thing. So if you can do that, you can do that. But if you cannot, you can do other things that can take your mind off things. You can decide to take a bath, you can decide to cook, do whatever you think can take your mind off that anxiety at the moment. And then the next thing that I will be talking about is you should actually have hobbies. You should have things that you know that anytime you do them, you feel better. If your hobby involves taking a stroll, you can actually go out and take a stroll at that moment. If your hobby involves going to the beach, you can make a plan to go. If you want to go for a swim, you can do that. If you just want to stay indoor, watch a movie, you can do that. If you want to read a book, you can also do that. Just have hobbies that will take your mind off that thing at that moment. So you can do all of that. You can pick the ones that work for you. So you can sit and then analyze the things that you know that could be fun for you. You can go to the gym, you can, whatever works for you, just do it. Okay, so we've come to the end of this particular video. It's not a long one, it's just us reminding ourselves that we are in our 20s and that we actually not behind in anything. So I saw a quote online. I'm going to be reading it out for you. So the quote is from The Moon Omens by Jimmy Veron. It goes like this: if you feel off track, please remember there is no track. This is your life. It ebbs and flows and twists and halts and splits up. It all belongs. Stop trying to be a robot who is productive and perfect all the time. You are not a robot, you are a human. Be alive to it all. Like, this quote actually resonated a lot with me by the time I read it, because there are times that we often forget that we are allowed to make mistakes, like we are allowed to mess up, we are allowed to jump up from it, we are allowed to clean up and move on. So this quote actually resonated, and it's simply just covered almost everything I've been saying for the past minutes, that your life, it's not going to be perfect at first. Nobody had everything figured out in the beginning, so you are allowed to learn as you're going, and it is perfect. So before you leave, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and you can turn on your notifications so that I get notified every time I upload a new video. Thank you very much. Bye.